Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Batman Arkham City. So we have this Harley Quinn's Revenge, and there's just really no telling how long this is going to be. This could be an hours of content, it could be 2 or 3 hours of content. We assume that this is all just the events that happen right after the main story, so spoiler for the main story, the Joker's dead.
Any news, Barb?
No. He's been gone 2 days. I'm worried. You know what he's been like since...
I'll find him.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, so...
Harley Quinn's preparing for some kind of siege. What's she planning?
Find Batman and get the hell out of there, okay?
Don't worry, Barb. It's me, remember?
You sound just like him.
So I guess we're gonna play as Robin instead of Harley Quinn.
Me to die.
And they've...
You left me to die.
You've caught...
You left me to die. You left me to die.
They've possibly caught Batman.
You left.
What's funny here is the idea that in 2 days you would be able to make new Harley Quinn outfits. The problem here you run into, and it's just constantly going to be the problem, is somewhat rightfully, I think DC pretty much recognizes nobody wants to play as Robin. Nobody wants to play as Catwoman. Nobody wants to play as Nightwing. They're all fine characters. Of course, they didn't really learn that lesson because the 5th game in the series now is going to be playing as all of those characters. Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, I think one other Robin. And so that's interesting. We don't have a detective camera mode, so there may be very little scanning and camera going on. That is a very realistic face mask. It almost seems like what they're doing here is they're experimenting with the idea of Harley Quinn in this universe eventually having this outfit and going away from the more realistic outfit that's similar to these thug outfits. Yeah. There kind of needs to be some better known character in the DC Batman universe called the Tailor that is just in charge of getting thugs new outfits. And I suspect we're still only going to have male thugs as a character. To me, this looks like we very possibly are just going through the steel mill again, which is going to suck because the entirety of the first, basically the first big area you go to in the game is the steel mill, and the last big area you go to is the steel mill, so DLC to take you to the steel mill again is asking a lot. And see, this was in the first game. And this feels like this might be more spooky stuff than anything we saw.
Idiot. I'm trying to think here.
This hurt.
Shut your stupid mouth. You're just lucky I need you later.
Okay. So we've got Harley Quinn in a more morning black outfit, and you can barely even see it. You've got 3 hostages, and then we've got a couple of guys, and this is going to be the exact same animation with just Robin. Yeah, I kind of feel like you can only
Barb,
play as
found the missing
Robin.
cops. Quinn's got him.
Any sign of Bruce?
Negative. I'm gonna keep looking. Harley's telling the cops she's got some sort of plan for them. They'll be safe for now.
Be careful.
This'll end okay. I promise.
You think? He's not been the same since... He won't even talk about Talia or Joker.
We'll help him once we find him. It's all we can do.
It's interesting he talks into his gauntlet. Honestly, I feel like Robin... Oh, so this was locked. Good.
Really?
I kind of feel like Robin dealing with Barbara, since
Crazy.
one of the Robins at least. Wow, that is just super blurring.
Want to remember that.
I don't know if that's intentional or not. If maybe this isn't actually Harley Quinn, and thus they've programmed it to blur. No, it's just the engine with terrible graphics pop in.
Now, what am I gonna do with you? Put this to Jay too. Cut you into tiny pieces and send you to an orphanage based in time.
So I guess the idea here,
What do you think?
that definitely looks like a
Screw you.
a
I don't think you
pair of eyes for kind of no reason. You can't take shots. I don't think there's any Riddler
got on by the
things or anything
phone,
like
the
that.
left one.
I do see
How we they might figure out
balloons,
the colorful bouts of you.
so we now know that there will be some balloons, and that'll give us the bats and the XP. But if we look, we kind of have all of our equipment. Let's just, like, there's no menu here, like, so there's no Riddler challenges as far as finding Riddler trophies. There's no challenges as far as doing specific fight actions. We might in the story get more experience and get more gadgets. I guess we're in the shipping yard here that is actually outside of Arkham City, and at this point I guess Arkham City is no longer the Arkham City of before. It seems like they've added a whole other lower section here, but I don't know if we're actually going to get into the open world or not. This green line seems to imply we are just going to spend our time here, and so all those buildings south of the bridge and the water may just be implied sections, or they may be something that shows up in Arkham Knight. Although if Arkham Knight really is just Arkham City all over again and isn't a completely rebuilt open world environment, it's going to be very disappointing.
Trying to make me mad.
So yeah,
Cut out your tongue for my Joker.
we have one of these Wonder City robots being painted now. Let's see. He draws a Robin symbol, which is even slower than drawing a bat symbol. We never figured out what the snap flash was. Zip kick doesn't do anything. Bullet shield implies we may have to use that a lot more than shuriken. So there's a window I could have jumped through up there. There's grappler.
This is Vicky Vale reporting live at the Arkham City site. The siege between Harley Quinn and the GCPD is now in its second day. Minutes ago, I asked Commissioner Gordon to comment on reports that Batman himself is missing.
The situation here is ongoing. As you can see, the GCPD is doing its best to keep the area contained.
So yeah,
Commissioner, can you comment on reports
interesting that
Batman
we're having Vicky Vale now actually do some reporting.
Come under my jurisdiction.
Really? Are you telling Gotham that you do not unofficially sanction his activities? And what about Joker's body? Can you tell Gotham where it is?
We're done here. Get these reporters moved out of my damn sight.
Rumors persist that this is some kind
Here we
of
have
retaliation
Cadmus
for the death
Labs
of the
being
Joker
mentioned.
2 weeks ago. Arkham City is
That's
once again in a
something
state of
from
flux.
the Gotham universe.
Batman is indeed in there. I hope he's safe. From my experience,
Yeah.
Arkham City is not
I
a
don't know how you fix
This is Vicky Vale.
the Batman in this universe, and I think this is a problem that happens with a lot of Batmans in a lot of depictions of him, is that he gets depicted as this gruff jerk character so much that he's not relatable and he's not interesting.
Heard from Harley? She's probably still crying. She'd better get over the boss soon. She's turned into a liability.
And what? You thinking of taking over?
Maybe.
That I'd like to see.
You think I can't do it?
Oh, yeah? And what's your gimmick? Freeze is a crazy scientist who's got that freezer gun. Two-Face has got that bird thing going on. What's yours?
I'll figure something out.
Yeah, it seems like we're just gonna run into this guy. Interesting they say who's this guy instead of Robin, so that it's like they don't even recognize him. I got a quick prompt there for a combo that I didn't really have time to press the button on, but let alone read. Like, you're already at your full health, and I assume that would be true for everybody. It would be weird to come into this DLC and not have the full upgrades. So yeah, I don't know how you rehabilitate Batman in the Arkham series and make him even more interesting than just the dialogue I've already seen as far as Robin here. And Robin is definitely not a character I like or would want to play as. Let's see. Interesting. This would be funny if the explosive gel sprayed on that part and blew that door open instead of this one. Yep. What they need to do is they need to remake the series and reboot the series. Which in this case would pretty much mean they need to just abandon the Arkham concept in general and really establish themselves.
Crazy before.
Yeah, well, she's crazy. She just wants revenge.
At least she's got the bat. Once he's dead.
Interesting.
maybe
So
she'll
that's the
calm
zip
down.
kick ability,
Howdy.
and he can't
She's
swim,
lost
I
it.
assume.
How do we know
In
she
the
would
water.
just kill all of us in some crazy revenge-driven plan? Wouldn't be the first time someone tried something like that.
That is a good point. We should get a plan together. Work out how to get the hell out of this place if things turn bad.
And I guess you need to be fairly careful to just keep an eye out to see if there might be a balloon somewhere and whether or not that balloon would show up in the detective mode or not. There's enough garbage happening in the ceiling here. And frankly, this is just bad game design to have this much 3D polygons up where you're never likely to even see them. Yeah, they're gonna put these in places where it's gonna be fairly easy to miss them. As far as the balloons, which I don't see how. Interesting, we can do a takedown here? Let's do that.
Arkham City's gonna be the last thing you see.
His long staff makes it easier to do these free-flowing fights because you just have a further range. Let me see. I'm trying to do like a BY prompt. Is apparently his special combo move he has. I guess if I had blown up this door, I would have then just been at the whims of that. Because I don't think you can just jump through this. So blowing up this wall would have just been, oh no, you can't get across, and you've alerted the people. But I also kind of wonder if this isn't going to be an escape the building scenario, so it might be worth it to go ahead and try the explosive spray on this. Yeah. So unless we get a line rider ability, I don't think that did anything for us. But it might be setting up an escape later. what's interesting there is that you also have that takedown ability via the gate, which would have been a nice ability for Batman to eventually learn. This definitely does feel like a chase sequence of some sort.
Nothing yet. Don't sweat it. If anyone comes this way, I'll make them regret it.
They're using the gates as a way to stop us, so we have to listen to the dialogue.
It's not a problem. When I kill this sucker, it'll be cool. Then I can maybe come see you? Nothing.
Did you just make a move on me?
No, I mean, I'm just being friendly. Trying to help.
I'm a riddle. Do you think you can measure up to my Joker? He was the best a girl could get. This is so much in you. You think it's okay to move in on his part?
No, please. You don't understand.
I feel like she's just gonna kill him now.
No, really.
Just do what I want and I may forgive you. Feel me and you'll regret it. Oh, Mr. J, how did you deal with these idiots?
Okay. So we have bullet shield. Use bullet shield to block the gunfire and environmental hazards. So here we have a guy that's dead. And so we're gonna have to work our way through the environment with the guns shooting at us. To walk around here. And then do we have a freezing thing? No, I guess we just use the gas. Interesting. So it basically feels like a lot of the elements of the main game could have been played very differently if you could have played as Robin. That still really doesn't create a situation where I want to play as Robin. Okay.
Come on, stick your head out so I can blow it off.
So your shield seems to only handle a certain amount of bullets, though. It doesn't make you invincible forever.
Scared to face me.
So you have to wait for it to refill. That's a helpful difference.
Who you are? You ain't coming any closer.
And we have some bulletproof armor on top of that, which Batman could have
Come on,
really
stick
used
your head
a
out so I can
shield.
blow it off.
It's Batman's little bitch.
Shield bash. And then ground takedown. Which is a different takedown animation.
Hello? Are you there? What's happening? Oh, for the love of... What's wrong with you people? Hello? Whoever you are, I know you're there. You hear me? I know you're there and it's too late.
Alright.
Hurry the hell up.
Just making sure it's done right.
Harley's overreacting. Batman came through here earlier, and now he's ours.
Yeah, but what if some other hero comes to save him?
What, like the kid he works with? I'm not scared of no kid.
What about the
Okay.
cat? She sometimes works with him.
I'm not scared of her either.
Well, I am, which is why I'm gonna do this
There's
right.
another door. And there's another door. I wonder if we could go back.
If I'd known you were gonna take this long, I would have brought something to read.
You got somewhere better to be?
We have a remote control shuriken. We have snap flash, which seems to do
Reading
nothing.
instructions for that thing.
Hey, shut up. One of us is working here.
Are these guys armed, or do we just sneak up on them?
Come on, on, I ain't got all night.
You wanna do it? Be my guest.
Do we have anything that would stop them from getting these guns?
Do you need instructions for that thing?
You got somewhere better to be?
Like, we can booby trap that, I suppose.
Come on, I ain't got all night.
You shut up. One of us is working here.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna take these guys on. Double takedown.
He's here!
That was easy combat. And I don't know if that isn't really the best way for this game to always have been. To really just double down on the idea of, well, I guess we can't open that even if we wanted to. Nor does it seem like there's really a way to. Yeah, I guess we need to look at the map and figure out which way is which. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's really a way to turn down the guns or anything like that either. Yeah, small, discrete areas, small sections in which, yeah, I guess that door is just never something you're gonna transverse. I am confused, certainly, because this feels like either you're going to be playing as Catwoman and then use that environment to get in here, and I don't even know why you would get in there. And then it feels like you're going to get up as somebody that has something here. Like this snap flash in particular, it doesn't like have a targeting reticle or anything. So I have no idea how it works. I'm not sure if it actually does work or if it isn't just some kind of unfinished piece of content. Let's see. It doesn't seem like the remote sure can let you go as far or as long. Because, yeah, that definitely feels like there might be a reason why you would want to climb over the fence and get in there. But I don't know really the reason for it. Now I'm upside down. Yeah. I seriously wonder if this is just maybe unfinished content, or you're gonna come back and play this area in Arkham Knight. Yeah. I think it's a little ambitious, certainly, but what you might want to do is reboot this series. Have one Robin and one Batgirl as playable characters. Have Batman be an older, like, fatherly figure, a much nicer guy, at least a guy that can talk and enunciate and doesn't just get defaulted to being a grunting meathead of a character. And you start off as Batman and play as him, say, for half the game, and then you swap between Robin and Batgirl, who each have their own separate missions. Maybe you bring in Nightwing too, and then you have a massive four characters to play in. Maybe you bring in Damian Wayne, which then, so you can have like Robin, Red Robin. That would definitely make sense to then try and bring up more characters and more playable characters, each with their own little missions. Damian is going to obviously be the youngest, less qualified character, so him being stealth, him crawling through really small vents, and then reducing the amount of crawling through vents of the other characters might make a lot of sense. You do try to keep the idea. I wonder if the garbage here is supposed to indicate anything, like you could actually swim in this water. I don't think it is. And I don't know if there's supposed to be anything here, but then there oddly is a door marked here. But it's marked in such a way that you probably are just going to come back through that area. You do definitely keep the Arkham idea of a lot of bad guys. You try really, really hard to not just have it devolve into the Joker, because Arkham Asylum, as its own game, even the first one, failed miserably at that and did just evolve it into being the Joker.
Pick it up.
No way, man. That thing's dangerous. You saw what it did.
What? It's just a belt.
No, it's Batman's belt.
So what? It's still just a belt. What? You afraid of a little electric shock?
Don't do it. He's screwing with you.
No, I'm not.
I knew it.
Last guy who tried to pick up that belt got 50,000 volts running through it.
Okay.
Screw you. You pick it up.
No way. That thing's dangerous.
That explosion probably won't blow up those guys. So I think you go with your standard idea
What's
here.
it doing here anyway?
We got it off the bat and we caught it.
Must have some kind of booby trap.
Hey, give him his due, man. Batman is one clever bastard. Always got a...
Okay, so drop attack.
What's wrong?
Like, obviously they wanted you to take on a couple of characters. They wanted you to fight a big character first. Like, oh yeah, I remember finally how they take on the taser guys. You have to attack them from behind. BY. Special attack. Seems to be the only one Robin has. Take on these other guys while they're in the smoke. Robin's attacks still fairly brutal too. Like, that is something I would definitely try to remove from a remake of a Batman series. I would definitely look towards the successes of the Lego Batman games and try to be more funny with it. Like, I wouldn't try to go as silly or kid-friendly as the Lego Batman game, certainly, but you don't need to be rated M for mature on a Batman game. You can go teen plus. You can go,
Tim,
yeah,
what's
you
going
could go
on?
10 plus
Have you found him?
and still tell the same kind of stories that are usually told. So now we're back 2 days earlier, and I guess we're gonna
Just keep
actually
the
play
damn
as
fight coming.
Batman.
I don't want that mad woman getting out of there. Understand?
Harley Quinn.
How'd you guess? Her goons ambushed my guys and dragged them towards the steel mill. We can't get close.
I'll handle it.
You sure? You know she blames you, right? Could be a trap.
Fall back and stop anyone else getting hurt. I'll handle the rest.
See, even here, when you have this line of dialogue with Batman, he's barely even talking to Jim Gordon.
When this mess is cleared up, we need to talk about that other problem. Remember? I know you blame yourself. Don't. It wasn't your fault. You look terrible. When this mess is cleared up, we need to talk about that other problem. Remember?
And we can't talk to just the general police people. So our goal is here. We are here. I guess the question would come down to how far can you go? I'm not really getting any grapnel points. So yeah, it seems like they've probably taken the physics off of all of these buildings in such a way that you couldn't actually grapnel on them or glide to them if you tried. And they're going to keep us in this general location, which, alright. But we know we're going to get caught eventually in some kind of cutscene. Seems to be like there's only a couple of guys, and these helicopters I assume are police helicopters.
Go get yourself smelled. Give up on this revenge kick she's on.
What? It's the freaking bat! You're not getting past me again.
Yeah, and we're at full bullet health, so that means you can pretty much take out a couple guys armed, but you're not going to be able to take out large amounts of people armed. And you create this weird situation where even that much damage now kind of has to be adjusted for now. We kind of need to take out this sniper guys.
I never liked cops. Hope Harley sticks it to him good.
See, that's basically a wrestling move that he just did. Alright. I don't know if there's really even a reason to try and take out all these people. Like, because you don't have any real challenges here. Well, there are balloons. So let's see if we can find another balloon to potentially hit. There's a lot of unarmed people, which might mean we don't really need to take out as many as it seems. Alright, so here's a balloon. You can see it does not glow. So if we are going to take out balloons, we are going to basically have to find them. Is there a benefit to doing something like this?
Cap, it's Batman!
it comes down to a question as to, like, did that potentially let me refill my health, and did I just trade a... You can see this door doesn't open in this case. Did I just trade a potential health refill to clean out the city for really no good reason? I think your best bet probably is just to take out the snipers and not worry about anything else.
Still here, still freezing my ass off.
The sniper, the other gun characters probably aren't enough of a trouble. Unless there was some weird scenario here where by Batman cleaning up the streets, the next sequence turns out to be a sequence where you play as Catwoman, and then Catwoman obviously is like way underpowered, so she needs all the help she can get as far as the elimination of potential enemies.
Arkham City, he deserves all the torture he gets.
Can I get a drop attack on this guy, or am I just too close to him? I think you probably are best just doing that.
Isn't summer yet? Oh no, it's just more damn snow.
Alright.
If there are any other bad
Can we even
guys
take
around
pictures?
here, they all get moved.
And the balloons are no different than the balloons before, so
I hate it here. Sooner I get out,
it's not like the popping of the balloon tells you that there's Batman's nearby. You might actually just get away with doing this and looking around.
Gosh, did it ever occur
Of course, it
to
will
crazy
lock on
woman to make
people.
these damn outfits a little warmer?
Yeah. So yeah, the thugs have new outfits and they're still not warm.
So cold.
Yeah. Just don't really see a reason to take on these guys.
Can't believe that Vicky Vale still wants to remove it from this place.
Like, these guys are never going to be strong enough to take me out, take Batman out in a couple of hits. So my only question would be,
Harley's got all kinds
was
of crazy
there
since Jay died.
something here that I needed to find or collect? It feels like at some point there should be some prompt to destroy these gun caches, but that doesn't seem to be the case either.
Figure those cops are just a trap to
How many, like, there's only 30 of these balloons in total, so the idea that there would be that many in the overworld is kind of hard to believe.
How cold does it have to be before someone thinks to give us coats?
We'll go ahead and boost this remote controlled battering. Honestly, it just feels like, hey, that worked even though I lost the signal. it really feels like this DLC should have just been post-game content.
I'm freezing here.
Like, there doesn't so far seem like there's any big reason why this wouldn't have just been directly integrated into what happens when you get back into the game and the Catwoman DLC. If anything, it just seems like they intentionally put a separate button on the menu to let people know that they got that new content. Or this DLC came out so late after the original game that they wanted people potentially to be able to play this DLC even if they hadn't finished the main game on the same computer or same console. Yeah, sometimes you see that in DLC where they say think maybe this is the second purchase of the game and they don't expect the player to actually play a game they already purchased and they just jump into the DLC immediately. Well, I would say you have some things certainly to think about. There's, I guess, just a couple places you need to look and give some thought to before we enter here if we're looking for the Harley Quinn balloons. Seems like the sewer part here has been fully filled in, which, yeah, that was something I wondered about. We're still just looking for balloons. I wouldn't be surprised if... Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of guys in this general direction. Alright, there's a lot of guys here, and then you just kind of have the wall. So I suspect little Harley Quinn heads on this building. I suspect that is the steel mill shipyard area. Yeah. So at some point we will have to break into the shipyard and take out some guys, which may very well mean that my efforts getting rid of things right now may be in vain, because we may load back into this overworld and find all the bad guys have been respawned. Yeah. I just don't... Until we find a balloon that is hidden somewhere, more like hidden inside a building or something, I think I pretty much have to assume that they're all going to be fairly up in the air. Sometimes they may be obscured, but they are probably going to be hovering, not sneakily placed in some under free-walled enclosure that you can only see from one angle or two angles. Like the Riddler trophy. Like, if they were going to do something, they might put a balloon down there, for instance. And I suspect we're not going to... Or they might have put a balloon there. But there's just not enough of them, enough balloons in general to make that seem realistic. We have all of our abilities so we could get to all kinds of places. But you almost can assume that at some point this was being developed to be just integrated into the main game. So anywhere where a Riddler trophy was, almost certainly there won't be a Harley Quinn balloon. Yep. And if anything, this is just Batman taking out people for fun or out of frustration. It would be very silly, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of a Batman story to say Joker infected Batman, not with just Titan DNA, but with his blood enough that his DNA was in Batman, and Batman would turn into the new Joker. And that might be a way to have a soft reboot of a series like this, is to just like have flashes one way and then the other between this is who Batman is now. He's this crazed Joker, new Joker replacement, and then you have flashbacks where Barbara, Batgirl, and the Robins all remember a kinder, nicer Bruce Wayne Batman from the past. Kind of like how they're doing the flashbacks and flash forwards here. And I guess the real question will be whether or not this is where Batman gets caught or not. Because I wouldn't be surprised if you walk through here and you just immediately start a cutscene that gets Batman trapped. But I also feel like we need to get a map at some point too. Yeah, you can't do the Riddler pictures anymore. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a map at some point that lets us do this. And here you have a Fruitful Endeavors pregnancy test and a Joker thing. Yeah, if Harley Quinn really was pregnant and gave birth to a Batman, see it says negative though, and also giant pregnancy tests. There's a whole bunch of them. The idea of Joker's kid being the new Joker would have to be something you would do in like Batman Beyond, where it's set far into the future, not in the current timeline. And honestly, that wouldn't work terribly if they did try to make a Batman Beyond video game, but it really then calls back to a fairly old Batman cartoon that is never going to be canon in most people's minds. So here we've got a cop.
There's one of the cops.
Please.
Yep.
You don't need to do this.
Sure, we don't need to do this, but that won't stop us. Do you realize how hard it is being a henchman? Listening to orders from a crazy person and following them without question?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think I like being shouted at by that crazy woman?
Exactly. It's hard. Not hard like sitting on your ass eating donuts. That must be real hard.
That's why we like to unwind with a game.
It was gonna be pin the tail on the dead cop, but then we had a better idea.
Pinata time!
Oh God, no! Help!
I want to see what you've got inside you. And if it ain't candy,
So I assume you're not gonna
real
just
disappointed.
lose.
Someone, help!
I assume they're just gonna keep on talking until they stop.
Bats here!
Alright, so taking out the armored guy, not a smart move. Had I taken on any of the other characters,
You gotta say now, huh? Oh, what's wrong?
I could have taken him out. Alright. If anything, this is kind of highlighting the problem that you will run into with playing as anyone else compared to the Batman, is that he just has way more gadgets and tricks and things he can do. Now that there's only 2 guys left, fairly easy to take them out. Arguably, they are wearing coats,
Get me down!
so Harley Quinn is nicer than the Joker. They have put coats on them.
What are you waiting for? Get me down!
Yep, and see, this would be funny if he turned out not actually to be a cop. Alright, let's talk to the guy. Can't talk to the guy. He's gonna just talk himself when he stands up. Now we can talk to the guy.
You're safe.
Am I glad to see you?
What happened? Where are the others?
We were ambushed. They dragged us outside the steel mill and beat the crap out of us. These bastards dragged off the others and brought me here.
These
I'll
are
find them.
better
Wait here.
designed,
Hide.
more realistic characters, in the fact that they're not every
You
cop
okay?
is just a
Don't want to talk?
a
No problem.
super
I'll just be
muscly
waiting
character like Batman. But I'm not sure that even really matters. In here, you can't crawl under here. Interesting. In the Batman universe as it is, like, it would make sense that you would always see an idealized version of people in comic books, and I don't feel like a lot of old school comic book fans in particular appreciate the idea of all comics showing more realistic and less idealized body types as just a thing. In fact, there's been lots of pushback and lots of incidences of pushback from old school comic book fans when you get these, for lack of a better term, woke depictions of like super obese, super ugly characters being integrated and forced into superhero teams, where it doesn't really make sense. Like, comic books have always been a fantasy, so interesting. Yeah, this definitely happened in Arkham Asylum, where you would have the radio playing mostly Jack Ryan radio, but it's really crazy that none of that it's crazy that this wasn't in the main story. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of halfway glad that there were more fat thug guys, because that's believable, and fat cops. I'm glad they're not making a fat Batman. Arguably, Batman with his 8-pack is already too far in the other direction. I think a little bit of a happy medium could be found. Let's not have hugely fat thugs be the consistent thing. I still feel like, though, you're running into sexism issues. Like this isn't a female, is it? No, this is just a skinny guy. Yeah. The fact that all the male thugs from all the thugs are male from all of the different gangs still, I think, is a much bigger issue than... Oh, I knew that. Actually thought that was going to work. We can't open that blast door.
Thanks. I thought they were gonna kill me.
Interesting. It says that's the way out, and that way is locked. Door locked. And all I otherwise see is this panel, which we already activated. We've been in the steel mill multiple times. So I assume, I guess I just have to come back out here and leave this way. Oh yeah, that is the exit it was pointing to. So, yeah, that was confusing. And so the question...
Where did the cops go? Harley had him moved. Where? You know where. Oh, the secret.
Shut up, you idiot.
What?
No one's supposed to know about it, are they? Think about it. What if someone's listening in on one of them microphone things? Or worse, Batman's listening. You want to be the one to tell Harley you screwed up?
You think Batman's here?
Could be. Who knows?
I don't know. I heard he's gone dark. You know, since Jay died.
Since he killed him, you mean?
You don't know that. And Batman don't kill. Right?
I was there. Batman came walking out of that movie theater carrying the boss.
Looked pretty guilty to me.
Harley just broke down. Ain't been the same since.
I still don't think Batman killed him.
It don't matter what you think. Harley's got those cops. She's all kinds of crazy right now. I'm just happy she's got someone else to take it out on. Know what I mean?
So it does look to me like they just respawned. So there is not really any reason to take out the enemies. Which, I don't know if that wasn't the better way for the main game to really work too. The idea of being an OCD completionist and killing and knocking out all of the thugs throughout Arkham City is an interesting thought, certainly, but well, interesting. This is taking me in a different direction. It's also not really worth your time to try something like that. It is kind of the idea of a destructible environment also, that like many games have tried to have destructible environments, and at the end of the day, if a game was fully built out of destructible environments, eventually you would just destroy everything and there'd be nothing to interact with more. If you'd cleared out all of the thugs in Arkham City, you would at some point need some way of setting off flares and respawning in thugs. Otherwise, there's just no gameplay there. Alright, well, this guy is seemingly holding a weapon, so we'll go ahead and try this. Here we've got a shield guy. Which means if I can like freeze that guy and take him out, then I can do an ice smash takedown here fairly easily.
Quinn's thugs were talking about the missing cops. If they were here, they may have left some evidence that I can follow.
Yep, and that's oddly more dialogue than...
That radio belonged to a cop. There may be evidence around here of where he was taken. I should set up a crime scene.
Let's see. Got blood.
Belonged to the cop. I should follow it and see where they took him.
Like, this is more dialogue than we've seen in any of the other sequences. Let's save ourselves some time here. If we can see the white dots, then why not just follow the white dots? Like, I see that it is going...
Man, don't dare show his face around here.
This way.
What's the bat doing here?
And... so yeah, we're doing a very different style of detection there.
Look out! It's Batman!
Right. And we're just ignoring a lot of the dots in favor of moving faster. And the game seems to be perfectly happy with that style of gameplay, where you would just ignore. And unfortunately, this is once again just playing in complete stealth mode, though.
What are we doing in here? Guarding this stupid switch? Man, I thought this place was a secret. Who's gonna come in here anyway? Batman? Yeah, right. Ain't this thing supposed to be impossible to crack? And anyway, I heard that since Joker died, he's hardly been seen. Figure he's feeling all guilty.
Do you think he killed Joker?
Nah, not his style.
Things change. It's not like they were friends.
True.
So
Still
we'll just listen to his dialogue.
A stupid switch for Quinn.
I like to think we're doing it so she doesn't put a bullet in our heads. Or worse.
That's
It's
a good
just
reason.
like way better dialogue here too, which really I think proves the fact that if you had simply a smaller, less ambitious game. Hopefully I didn't need to knock that guy out.
You're gonna pay for letting Mr. J die.
Interesting. Like, it does just kind of feel like you... A less ambitious game. Where are we? And see, we didn't even see this burning hell stuff. And it really does seem like she is just embracing the idea of looking like the old Harley Quinn compared to the new Harley Quinn. That is a more ambitious, more difficult fight, certainly, to not be able to.
What are we doing in here?
To just
Guarding this stupid switch.
take
Man, I
on
thought
these
this place
guys.
was a secret. Who's gonna come in here anyway?
Batman?
Batman, he's here.
So we were supposed to interrogate this guy.
Tell me how to get through that door, and don't waste time lying. I'll know.
Oh God, Harley gave code cards to the people she trusts most. You need 3 codes to get in. Please, I'll tell you where they are. Just don't hurt me.
I'll do my best.
Okay, so then we've got to go get 3 code cards. And we skipped over that entire scan mode. And that does give us more of a reason to play here.
Without the codes, I can't save the cops.
Alright, so we have 15 out of 30 of the balloons. It seems like we are going to spend more time playing as Batman than Robin. I think there's a decent chance at the end of all of this we will find out that Batman is fine. And Robin was not necessary at all, which would be right in line with kind of the way Batman is always depicted as this perfect being. People always complain about Superman being depicted as too perfect of a character, but Batman in video game form, in this video game series at least, is also given that same problem. There's like nothing to see on the map. You can't zoom in on a location, I guess. Well, yeah. See, there's a door here that we couldn't go through. And there's kind of like one area we couldn't go through. But, yeah, unless this opens up a whole bigger part of the map, I suspect we're not going to do too much. And as far as the steel mill, I suspect we're not going to do anything there. So unless they're going to have us go into some other buildings, which I don't think is going to happen, this may very well be just 2 hours of content, which certainly would question the price on a DLC element like this. It kind of doesn't matter once you buy a game many years down the line. You tend to get the Game of the Year edition anyways. But if this originally had sold for $5 and it was giving you 2 hours of content at best, that's pretty overpriced. If it sold for $5 and it gives you 5 hours of entertainment, that would be much nicer. But yeah, I think this is the right point to end this recording, and I think we may very well be at the halfway point. I suspect we won't see Catwoman in this DLC. We probably won't play as Batgirl. We probably won't play as Nightwing. We probably won't do too much more with Robin either. That's going to be it for this recording, though. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.